talking about photographers in lockdown. I know we might be having this conversation a little late, but what I want to talk about is hi, Nikki. I want to know what's going to happen with photographers after lockdown, how we're going to cope, what the plans are. I know a lot of photographers say they are not getting any income in this time, which is obvious because they need to be outdoors to be able to do that. And the reason we're talking about Kenlin to Kenlin today is because he's been doing a lot of interesting stuff on lockdown, shooting his kids' little toys and doing some interesting lockdown images at home with the kids. Hey guys, we're talking to Kenlin. His voice is there, but we can't really see him right now until he can figure out the camera.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all your viewers. Yeah, but thank you for the opportunity, Melissa.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for a while. You were like, yeah, when are you interviewing me? We are friends. What?
But I want to be on that, owning this life story.
but you guys, if y'all don't know, me and Kenlin are like bosom buddies. We're like the illest. We've been friends forever. I shot his wedding, and it was their wedding anniversary on Monday. And we've been like tight since then. So when we travel, Kenlin goes with us. If we're doing Cape Town and Sun City, then Kenlin is with us. So Kenna, tell the people about the work you've been doing at home in lockdown.
Yeah, no, I've been, the first week I was losing my mind. Because I'm a very active person, so I'm always up and down doing things. And then I just had a brain teaser, like a brain wave in my head. Let me just start taking images of things in the house and using my kids and everything. And yeah, and I just started shooting, started scratching in the children's rooms for toys and all of those type of things. And just keeping my creative side busy.
Yeah, I saw like the mask images that you did with the kids with the lighting, and you like a huge Godox fan. Guys, this guy's been trying to sell me Godox forever, and I still haven't gotten anything. But the images came out amazing. So since if you can't see his face, it's fine. You can click on his profile and go check out the images that he's been posting because there are some really cool stuff there. What kind of colors are you using with, tell us your setup basically, because I also saw the little children's toys that you did yesterday, or was it in the week?
Yeah. Okay, so basically for the ones that I did for the kids with the masks, it was a one light setup. So obviously I use Magmod stuff as well. So it was a 180-200 with a grid for direction light. So it was directed right to the child. So yeah, and for the ones for the toys, I had 2 flashes, and I had Magmod gels. I had a orange gel to create sunset because I was very low, so I couldn't get proper sunset because I was low on the ground, and I used orange gel and a full CTO gel to light up those subjects. But yeah, I'm just keeping busy and just keeping my creative side, man.
Yeah, no, I see it's gonna have huge effects when it comes after lockdown because you're gonna have more understanding of your lighting techniques, and because you do a lot of weddings, this now adds a lot of new elements to the kind of weddings that you're gonna be shooting going forward.
Exactly. Because now, of course, there was quite a lot of cancellations of weddings and all of those type of things.
Yeah.
So now couples had to postpone their weddings now, probably to September, October, and all of those things. And it's also for me to just learn and just perfect my craft, and just keep myself busy. And just learning different lighting techniques and all of those type of things, and just learning from other photographers as well, and just implementing it also into my practice, like when I practice with it. But further than that, no. It's I'm learning, still learning. I will forever be learning. And yeah.
So what do you think, what is your plan after lockdown? Because I know in stage 4 lockdown, we're still not going to be able to shoot much. And our type of work needs us to be in public or at events, and like weddings are, you can't necessarily shoot with just a small crowd of people. I don't even know if they're going to allow weddings to happen, period. But do you have a plan going forward of how to keep clients coming in? And do you have bookings for the rest of the year that is helping you move forward?
Yeah, I have bookings up until December.
Mm.
So I really don't know. In actual fact, this lockdown really screwed us really over, especially with regards to photography. It really dampened. Going forward, I really do not know what is the restriction for us as photographers, especially with regards to level 4. But I think with regards to weddings, the weddings won't be able to have like 100 and something. I think they're gonna curb it to probably to 50 people by a wedding, because the last wedding I did before the lockdown, like the lockdown was the Thursday, I think, and then the Wednesday I did a wedding, and there was like 34 people by that wedding.
Yeah. And but the thing is, people, I think South African people in particular like having big families and all of that sort of thing there. But I see a lot of the photographers on Facebook are talking about they're not getting any income. I know that you have a job, so you don't do this full time, but you work a lot doing photography as well. What do you think the how can I say the outlook for photographers is going to be after this? Do you think there's going to be a demand for photography because we've had such a long lockdown and we're not sure if we're going to go back to level 5 after level 4, specifically because we live in Gauteng, so we're one of the hotspot areas. What do you think the landscape is going to look like after this?
The future looks a bit bleak for photography right now because we are very out there. We in the public, and look, a lot of people are demanding for this thing, for photography, but with the restrictions, most of them, it won't happen. It won't happen. But I can tell you now, a lot of people is gonna start doing those things. Scalamki, they're gonna start shooting without permits and all of those type of things, because especially like, for example, like you like full-time in this thing, and it's your daily living, and it's gonna force you to go out.
You see, in our case, we are lucky with our business because we have a production company. We are work in many different areas. So television is has to keep running, right? So obviously our shows will restart again after the lockdown, or even in what's his name, lockdown level 4, our shows have to start again. Supersport can't stop shooting, number one. But number two, we have a television show at the moment on Soweto TV that we need to start shooting again for, and we're lucky with regards to the fact that we're only 3 or 4 people there at a time. It's not like we need huge production crews and whatever for that show. So we already have permits in place for that kind of stuff and for church things and whatever, which keeps us moving. But I wonder if a lot of the photographers have thought about doing things like that early on to set them up for when things start to ease up and the kind of movement around the province.
No, it's very important because this lockdown came unexpectedly. I think most of us, this corona thing caught the industry off guard. We thought that this thing is only for the China and the Americans, and it never hit and so it hit very hard. So everybody's now surprised and running around now for permits and all of those type of things. But I see, I think eventually in the long run, it will settle back to normal. And a lot of people will postpone their weddings for this whole year. So probably it will pick up next year. That's what I'm seeing. So probably next year, everything will go back to normal.
And it gives them time to kind of pay off as well, because I've also gotten a couple inquiries for weddings for later in the year. But what they're talking about now is we're looking at 6 months of just back and forth between lockdown and normalcy. My thing has always been like the photographers who I am all familiar with and are friends with who are currently saying they're not getting any income. How long can they hold up, this lockdown for however long it ends up being, if it's 3 months or whatever the case may be? How long can they actually finance their businesses, and should they be doing other options? Because there are other options available that I think a lot of photographers aren't aware of.
Yeah, no. For those that are doing this full time, it's really tough. That I can tell you now, and it won't sustain them for a while. That's why, as a photographer, you must also have other streams of income.
Yeah.
You have to think of different streams of income, because sometimes I see it with myself. With the photography, sometimes it's a bit seasonal. You can get winter time, it's very quiet. You'll get the odd gig here and there during the winter time. Then it starts picking up in summertime.
And the winter time is our biggest gig of the year, right? So I don't even know if that gig is going to happen for us this year, my friend, because now we can't leave the province. So they can't exactly have it in Gauteng because everybody else needs to come here. And all of those professionals are currently essential workers at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like we should VHF every year. And for those of you who don't know, we should VHF every year, and we have to usually fly out of the province to go and shoot it. But these people from VHF are all essential workers. They're doctors and nurses and medical practitioners. So chances are that this year VHF is not happening. I've seen the CEO of VHF on news more often than not these days. So he's quite hectic. So for those, my thing is, that is one of our biggest gigs of the year, and it gets us other gigs. And I always think to myself, like, what's going to happen now? I need to find another gig that doesn't require me being around 100,000 people in order to get work for the rest of the year.
It's true. And I was thinking about the BHF story, and I was like, it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, and because it's so much fun.
All of them are busy. All of them are busy working. All those doctors that we were capturing, they are quite busy. They are trying to save lives and all of those type of things. So I don't think it's gonna happen. Probably later in the year.
Do you think that they would open or give us enough, or give us permits enough to take pictures of essential workers and all of that while they're working? Because if you, for those who don't know that there are other spaces for photography, the online stuff is actually quite prominent right now. There are websites where photographers, especially South African photographers, because there aren't a lot of us doing this, who can upload stuff online that gets sold on those websites, and you get a commission for everything that gets sold, which can be another income stream. But do you think they'll open it enough for us to be able to take the pictures that are needed right now of COVID-19 in South Africa in order to sell those images online, or even to media houses like CNN?
Yeah. It is an option, and it's another stream also for photographers to venture into. Funny enough, I was thinking, did you ever see a funeral that of someone that died of COVID-19? Have you ever seen images of that?
I saw one this morning of someone in the UK. But she was an essential services worker, so they did a whole like coverage of her funeral and how small it had to be and all of that kind of stuff. But they don't really even show much. I see social media takes all of that stuff off. You're not allowed to share that kind of stuff on social media, which I can understand to a certain degree. But I feel like people are not taking this seriously because they don't see the faces that are affected enough.
Yeah, I told my wife now the other day, South Africans, they are very humorous people, and they're also people that don't take things, they take things with a pinch of salt.
Mm.
That's what Africans are. They think this thing is a joke, and
Mm.
until it really hits home, when it hits home, then you
Yeah.
see the real crux of this thing.
Yes.
Oh, to tell the truth, Melissa, I've been only outside twice. I
Mm.
haven't. I'm just indoors. I'm even getting complexion and all of those things.
You know, my thing is, I've been also only out once in a month now. And it's difficult for me because I'm an extrovert. I need to be out, and I love shooting because it means I get to speak to people and be around people and all of that stuff. But for
Yes,
me,
yes.
I have to think I have a child with a pre-existing condition at home. And although his levels are low, I can't predict what's going to happen to him. So I need to make sure that he's protected as much as possible. It would be responsible for me to want to go and shoot in places where we know there's COVID-19, like in Sandton side and whatever, and come home not knowing that I am passing it on to everyone in the house. And the other thing is, I'm not about this being isolated in my room for the 3 weeks story. Imagine, what am I going to take pictures of? My wardrobe. Can you imagine? Of myself posing in my room.
Oh.
Or my food that someone made for me that day. No, thank you. I'm not about that
No, but
isolation
you
life.
know
At
for
least
what
I still have my
no,
yacht.
but, no, but you know what happens for me, that this is also a good time for me to do introspection of myself,
Yeah.
also get some introspection of where I want to go this year, or what do I want to achieve this year, and yo, this thing made me think a lot, and I think that's where my creativity got unlocked, to say, you know
Mm.
what, I can't. Started thinking more. I get more ideas and all of those type of things because I'm now cooped up in the house. I can't move and all of
Mm.
those things. So now my mind starts working, and that's where it starts unlocking all my creativity and all of those type of things. I'm also a person that's very out there, and I can also be very indoors as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know where
But
I find
you
myself.
good you're good at creativity in lockdown. Like when I was looking at your pictures on Facebook, I was like, yo, I wish I had that creativity. But for me, my response to all of this is very different. Like I came in with a plan. This was what I was gonna do. I was gonna homeschool the best of my ability. I was gonna make YouTube videos. I was going to do plan for owning this life, and I was gonna take more pictures. Ask me how much of that I've done. Homeschool has taken up all of my time. The responsible thing, we got a comment here. The responsible thing is to sharpen one's skills or acquire a new skill. It's extremely frustrating. I know that, and I have been saying forever we need to do some, you need to learn something new or learn something you've always wanted to do. And then I saw all of these posts come up of people saying, no, you in lockdown, you are not forced to do anything. You can just be with yourself. I'm like, yeah, but if you're with yourself long enough, you're inspired to want to do new things. But for a
Mm.
parent, I think it's a little harder because for me, I wanted to shoot. My kids don't want to stand in front of the camera, y'all. Like they are just done with photography. It's not life to them. My
Yeah,
teenagers,
no.
it's like, don't even point it in my direction. Don't even point your cell phone in my direction.
Yeah, no, the
But
same
your
here,
girls
the
are
same
so
here.
yeah, but your girls like are getting involved because the video that you posted, they're helping you with lighting setup and I think maybe it's because you were shooting their toys, which is really cool to them. But are they
Exactly.
learning anything from you in this time?
Yeah, no, they just saying, Daddy, every day you're taking pictures, you're taking pictures, you're taking
Mm.
pictures, when you're taking us pictures. So I'm like, hey, my child, when I ask you, and when they want to take pictures, then the hair is out of us, then they dirty and all of those stuff. They want to now take pictures now. And then the mother's like so against it. But the children are so willing to do it when they like
At
this,
that
and I
time.
think And for me, that is also a good way to take pictures of them. Because when they're big one day, they can see how did they
Yeah,
look, you
and they'll
know?
have good memories of this time because I've been saying even the other day, like for my kids, I felt like coming into this time, they needed to have really good memories of this time. And they're spending a lot of time with you alone because your wife is an essential service worker. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you just need to get the brush and brush their hair for them, eh, bro. If they're so willing, be like, okay, let me brush your hair and let's do something quickly.
You know what? These kids now, like if Rowena goes to work, the first thing they do, they disappear. They run to the Oma. They run to the Oma because they know Daddy's not gonna do this for me.
Let's
They
just
run
clean
to
up.
the
The children are not breaking lockdown rules. Ken and them are lucky enough to have a gate between his house and his in-laws' house. My family live 40 minutes away. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing yet. But maybe it's a bad thing because I need some space from my children sometimes. But you at least have the opportunity to be like, go to your granny. It's like 5 steps away.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. I think we are very blessed to be in such a position. So
Mm,
they can just go next door, and then
mm.
they with their granny and their grandfather. So yeah, that's it. We are really, really, really blessed, and it also it leaves a hate the pressure also
Yeah,
from us because most of the time I'm alone at home.
yeah.
And I can just hear them. I can
And you
just hear
have two
them
little girls.
screaming.
You have two little girls with opinions. So I can imagine there are
Very
days you're
much
like,
so.
please, Lord, give me strength.
Yeah, no, they very outspoken and they're very out there, which I think is a very good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. So we try to teach them here and there where is to be opinionated and here and there. But the baby, I don't know.
But she is cute.
That one, she's the boss. She's the boss here of this house, and she nyats us all here at home. So
So, in closing, I want to know what do you plan to do in the next couple of weeks? What kind of interesting shoots have you planned at home until everything goes back to sort of normal or the new normal?
yeah, I'm gonna start taking pictures of the coffee and the stuff in the kitchen now. So now I'm moving to the kitchen now,
Yeah.
and then
I'm interested to see the
I'll
creative
see.
things that come out of the kitchen because we've all been making food pictures. I'm tired of seeing food pictures, y'all. Like
No,
some of
but you
y'all
see,
make
mine will have an
of your
element,
pictures.
a element of color. Mine will have an element of color.
But
You
we got
see?
another comment for you. It says, I think with Kenlin's skills and his daughter's willingness to partake, they can shoot short picture stories. That's actually a good idea. You, MJLL, I don't know what you can do. Maybe start up with your YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to do my YouTube channel when the Lord gives me grace to get up off the couch. But I really only have time to do work on the weekends because I have 4 kids. Let's just count them, 4. And that means 4 different grades. The schoolwork is insane. So by the time I'm done with schoolwork, I'm just like, I'm poor. I just don't want to do anything anymore. So I need to kind of really get my focus back. But also doing these lives is preparing me for my show, which we were supposed to shoot in May, which
Yeah.
doesn't look likely now. But we're going to be shooting that. So the YouTube videos will come. So just be patient. Your wife says, even though I am an essential worker, I'm still Ruina, no, your comment, she's disappearing on us. Okay, it says, even though I'm an essential worker, I'm still the assistant taking behind the scenes videos. But you've gotten good at this. And that's the one thing I have to give Ruina props for. Because when I shot you guys' wedding, Ruina was like not interested in the stuff. She was like, you do you, poo. I'll do me. But I see how, as the years have gone by, how more interested she's become and how she's been helping you. And now y'all got dinner pair pictures together, which I can really give
Yeah.
a big up for. Your Rowena is also my very good friend. So I have to give her give-ups. What's this?
Yeah,
My
no.
daughter.
Yeah, no, really.
Hi, Bunny. One of the ladies says, yeah, my daughter also hates being in front of the camera. You know what the thing is? They're going to regret it when they're older. So my kids, I literally have to bribe them. Like, for real. We are bribing people with cake and chocolate here. So we can take pictures. Otherwise, and with the teenager, you need to lather him. Make him feel good and be like, you know, I love you and you're so amazing. Yo, it takes a lot of energy. I haven't had that strength in the last. At least I do have
with kids.
Of them.
With kids, you mustn't come empty-handed, and that's the thing that I picked up with them. Me, I'll buy like chupas and crepes and all of those things just to soften them up. And then I said, you know what? Yeah. And then I'll buy them maybe a stock sweet from the paki, and I'm like, yeah, come. They just want to practice a little bit, man. You know. Then they soften up, and then they come.
Mine are a lot more difficult to convince than that. We need to, like, you can watch a whole movie and have a whole bowl of popcorn to yourself. They, like, my kids know how to barter well. I'm going to be broke at the end of lockdown with the way they be bribing us, man. So I just gave up. I was like, I'm not doing this. I have pictures of them that I haven't shared yet that I probably should edit at some point because I was doing more fine art kind of pictures of them. But I just gotten, I think also because family photography is not a huge thing for me. Like, I love portraits, and there aren't really many people who take portraits of these days except myself. And I can't keep showing myself all over social media. I'm getting tired of seeing my own face, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. Family pictures is quite challenging at times, especially if it's yours. If it's yours, it's very challenging.
Yeah. So I gave that a
yeah, on the question of Rowena, yeah, no, she really does assist me big time. She helps me a lot. And she's also learning the craft slowly but surely. That's why she's my assistant now. So I'm trying to keep it in the family and to teach her a skill that if I'm not around, then maybe she can pick up the camera and she can do it herself. So
yeah, my assistant has very great ideas. My husband, quote unquote, he's actually got far better ideas than me, but he's been in television forever. So he's very good at coming up with amazing concepts. We're just working on the training of how to use the camera. And you know, the 70-200 is pretty heavy. So you need to kind of navigate around how it works. My kids also want to use the camera, but hey, I'm a little scared, eh? If that thing drops.
Just now they drop it.
50 grand in the pen. Yo, my heart can't take it, eh? I want to get them one of those things that they can do videos with because they love doing videos. But they have used my camera, and they have taken a few pictures here and there, but it's too heavy for them. But Jonathan's gotten really, really good at coming up with concepts and things like that. It's just learning how to frame it on my camera in photography is a different story because it's like learning how to drive an automatic from driving a manual, right? You need to kind of adjust the way you bring things. So when you're shooting from a video camera to a stills camera, also you have to kind of do an adjustment. So we're getting there. You see all the pictures of me on my Instagram, he takes those pictures. I can't take those pictures by myself. I'm not a self-portrait kind of person. So